like, do I meditate? Is that what I'm doing? That's what I want to really convey to people, is that everyone is
And
capable.
I'm thinking this because it's the truth. And like, no, it's not. Your thoughts are not always the truth. Your thoughts can lead you astray. They're really, the objective of meditation is to realize that you are not your thought. And in that, there's so much freedom because welcome to Estrada Sisters Connect. We're your hosts. I'm Veronica Estrada.
And I'm Patricia Estrada.
And today we are going to be talking about meditation and what's all the hype about, how to do it, do you even do it, why would we start doing that, and all the good things. And Patricia's going to share her story and her perspective on it first. So Patricia, go ahead.
Thank you so much for that intro, sister. Like Veronica said, we're going to talk about our personal experience with it. And honestly, my personal experience with meditation is still like very fluid. Like, it's still very much like, do I meditate? Is that what I'm doing? And I have decided that it is, because the most important thing that we want you to take away from this episode is that meditation is for everyone. It is a tool that you can use that is free, that you can do at home, or you can do actually anywhere, where you feel comfortable. It's for everyone. And it doesn't have to be this rigid, like, I used to think that it was this like thing that only like
do the thing.
I used to think that. I used to think that it was like this thing that only like rich white people did, or like hippies, and that it had to be like, like which it can be, right? It can be. If that's your jam, cool, great, do it. But I really like grappled with the idea of like, is meditation for me? Like, I used to just think that it was like dumb or something. And so I actually realized that I was meditating when I took a step back and kind of like was thinking about all the different things that I do for my mental health. And the way that I meditate is by focusing on my breathing. I lay down on a mat. Like, that's the way that I like to do it. I like to lay down on my mat, on my yoga mat, and I focus on my breathing. And I make sure that I'm focusing on on inhaling into my belly and exhaling through my mouth, and making it like a sigh of relief, and focusing on observing my thoughts, because that's what meditation really is. It's the acknowledgement, or the ability to separate yourself from your thoughts. And if you can like do that, like, oh my gosh, like your life will change, because everybody's like stress is it's not real. Like, I mean, it is real, right? Because the problems are real, but like, this present moment, like, I am safe, I am okay, like, there might be a bajillion things that I need to get done, and I have deadlines and everything, but like, in this present moment, I'm okay, right? And so if I'm able to separate myself from the spiraling thoughts, like, it's this like ongoing theme of like spiraling and intrusive thoughts, right? If I'm able to separate myself from it, then it will completely change my life, right? And so meditation is how you can do that. So that's literally that's all I have to say. I practice it every morning, because I saw a post once that said, I think it was like a life coach or something, and they said that they recommend to their clients that they should not touch technology, they should not interact with technology until they've done 3 things every morning. And that's one thing for their mind, one thing for their body, and one thing for their spirit. And so what I do for my mind is my journaling. What I do for my body is my stretching. And what I do for my spirit is my meditation, or my deep breathing, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I still struggle calling it meditation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, because when I'm laying down on my mat and I'm focusing on my breathing, sometimes my thoughts start to wander. And so sometimes I will listen to like a Deepak Chopra meditation, or like a Deepak Chopra affirmation. Like, there's the one that I really love that I'll mention it in the notes, in the comment, whatever it is. So that's very helpful, but sometimes I don't want to listen to anything. And so I'm just laying there focusing on my breathing. And then I notice that my thoughts start to go places. And so I go back to that 5 4 3 2 1 method. So if you haven't watched the episode on grounding, definitely watch that, because I always tend, when I notice that my thoughts are kind of like starting to take over, like, oh, what am I gonna do for lunch today? Or I have to go to the post office today, or whatever. I always come back to the present moment, and I am just like, okay, there's the white wall, there's the art on that wall over there, there's the
Mm-hmm.
metal, there's like the steel bar right here, and so I just come back to the present moment and I return to my breathing. And so that's how
Mm-hmm.
I meditate. um but yeah, I just want to share that it's for everyone, and that, even if you're like me, that you think it's not for you, or that you're not capable. I think that's what I want to really convey to people, is that everyone is capable. You just have to practice. So Veronica, what's your experience with meditation?
Yeah, no, you're totally right that it is a practice to observe our thoughts. And I echo the sentiment that really the objective of meditation is to realize that you are not your thoughts. And that there's so much freedom, because again, like, we just take this voice in our head at face value, and we think like, these are like facts, like I'm thinking this because it matters, I'm thinking this for some reason, I'm thinking this because it's the truth. And like, no, it's not. Your thoughts are not always the truth. Your thoughts can lead you astray. There's just so much in there, right? So my experience of meditation started with when I was still in private banking, and I was super stressed out. I couldn't handle the workload, and I was like really scared I was going to fail. And I talked to one of my mentors and colleagues. He was also a private banker, and he was actually trying to bank the founder of Headspace. So he was like, you need to start meditating and definitely start using Headspace. So I started that way because I trusted him, because he would always stayed really calm under pressure, and I wanted to be like him. And I was like, if this guy is telling me that this is how you do it, then I'm going to do it. And I was so desperate for a solution at that point, because I felt like I tried everything. And I started meditating, and I noticed that first time I recommend you use an app if you're a beginner. Check and see if your employer has any memberships that they pay for already, like with Calm or Headspace. And if they don't, go ahead and use like Insight Timer. That one is free, and it tracks your minutes. And you can do like a beginner course, and it starts to train you to just notice your breath and stay with your breath, and notice when you're not noticing your breath and your thoughts started to run away with you. But for me, I remember I started meditating, and like one of my first sessions, I was quiet and I looked at my thoughts, and then it was literally like such a mean inner critic, judgmental ass voice. And I was like, oh, okay. So from there, I kind of got hooked on it, because there's just the noticing how my mind's roommate was, like how rude and mean and like judgmental and disparaging they were about me.
What do you mean about what do you mean when you say my mind's roommate?
So what I want to share is that we're all multidimensional, really. And the real you, like your soul you, is like out here somewhere. And then there's a roommate, which is your thoughts in your mind, that's always like running its mouth, that's always telling you something about everything, always has an opinion, always tries to make you feel some type of way. And that's why when I do guided meditations, like for corporations, I invite everybody, and I invite you to do this, like as you're listening to this, like see where you're at right now and take in your space. And then in your mind, see yourself sitting there where you are. So notice that difference, like you observing you, like that's who you really are. The consciousness observing you, that's the real you, right? That one is all love and all like it's calm and it doesn't have fear. And then there's the thinking mind, the monkey mind. that you hear it referenced in meditation a lot. The monkey mind is the one that's like, what's this? What's that? Oh, what am I going to do for lunch? Or what am I going to do for dinner? And oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Or man, next time she says that, I'm going to say this. Like that's the monkey thinking mind. And that bitch needs to shut the fuck up. Okay. So that's the whole point of meditation, is noticing who the fuck is in your mind. Like, what is that voice that you think is you? Because it's not you. It's just a result of like systemic everything, like all the things you watched on TV, how you were raised, what you see in the media. It's literally just a whole bunch of stuff that's been sort of downloaded or inputted from society and from your life so far. So releasing that connection with that part of you and connecting back to your soul and like your true essence, your like who you really are, right? Who is not the thinking mind. You're not your achievements, you're not your salary, you're not your titles, all that stuff. That's what meditation gave to me. It gave me like this gift of like, oh, okay, like I am enough. I am whole here by myself. Like all these thoughts, like I don't have to believe them. And the mind thinks a lot of things. It thinks perverse things, it thinks nice things, it thinks mean things, it thinks like funny things, like there's a lot there, but just disconnecting from that identification that you are these thoughts, or like whatever you think is like facts or truth or whatever, right? Like that's where the magic happens with meditation. So I think, yeah, we are right at like the 10-minute mark with this episode. So I know we're just scratching the surface with this, but we just want to drop some knowledge and some gems and with our personal experience, so that, like Patricia said, this is not just for like rich white people. It's not just for, monks. It's for you. And save yourself. This is another tool in your toolbox to save yourself, to enjoy your life more, because that way you don't need to get caught up with these negative thoughts that are often repetitive. And studies show we think like over 90 or 80,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are repetitive and negative. So it's like, disconnect from that and really tap into your real you, and then your potential, and then your joy, right?
Yes, thank you so much for that, sister. As you were speaking, I had two thoughts. One is that I've read the book The Power of Now. So that's a really, really helpful book to realize that you are not your thoughts, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure that's the book where I read that you need to become the silent observer of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're
Mm-hmm. It
talking
is.
about, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing that came to my mind is that I've done that program Noom, and this is not sponsored, and I actually canceled my membership because I got what I needed from it. But but what you were saying, and how you are not your thoughts, like so Noom is a psychology based weight loss app, and it talks about like the elephant, and it calls your thoughts, like your elephant in your mind is the one that like puts its soft trunk around you and tells you like, you don't need to go to the gym today, you should just go to that happy hour, or you don't need to skip wine this meal, you had a rough day, you need that glass of wine, it helps you out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it says so that you have the elephant and then you have the rider. And I have a little bit of there's some conflict within me thinking about an elephant and you being the rider of the elephant. Like, anyway, but that's neither here nor there. The important thing is that I do kind of like the analogy of like, you're the rider. Hi, Rocky.
Just
Rocky's
before
here
the
to remind us that we got to wrap this up. But so basically, we're not, this is nothing groundbreaking. This is information that's out there, but we want to talk to people that are like us, like first generation Americans, because that, for being a first generation American from that's born to like immigrant parents from third world countries, comes with like, whew, just a lot. And so we just want to give you examples of like all these different things, all these different like sources that talk about the same thing, and let you know that if we can do it, you can do it. So that's all.
That's right. And so, again, thank you for tuning into this series. It's about all the things you can do at home for free. and to just help your mental health. And we are here for you. Send us your comments, questions, DMs, whatever you can, and share this with at least one friend who you think it's going to help, and let us know how you trying out meditation went. And we're here to be of service and to connect.
Yay. Thank you, sister. See you guys next week.
Bye.